Everyone keeps asking the same question. How can someone look one way online and completely different in real life? And now, one influencer is right at the center of that storm, with the internet basically accusing her of lying to millions of people. But the more she tries to defend herself, the worse it seems to get. It all really blew up after that Hannah Montana premiere in LA. What should have just been another red carpet moment turned into something way bigger. Clips of Mikayla at the event started circulating almost immediately, and people didn't just watch them, they dissected them. Side-by-side comparisons started popping up everywhere, with her TikTok videos on one side and real-life footage on the other. And to a lot of viewers, something didn't add up. At first it was subtle, a few comments here and there. People saying she looked a little different. But that didn't last long. Within hours, the tone shifted. People weren't just pointing things out anymore. They were accusing her, saying the version of Mikayla online wasn't real, that her content was heavily altered, that what people were seeing wasn't what she actually looked like. And once that idea took hold, it spread fast. What made it worse was how deep people went into it. This wasn't casual scrolling anymore. People started analyzing her face from different angles, pausing clips, zooming in, comparing lighting, even breaking down how camera lenses might affect how someone looks. It turned into something almost forensic. Like viewers weren't just watching her, they were trying to prove something. But that wasn't even the craziest part, because soon the internet started coming up with theories, detailed ones. People began explaining how influencers could allegedly bypass filter labels, things like recording a video, uploading it privately, saving it, deleting it, then reposting it so the filter tag disappears. Whether those claims are true or not didn't even matter at that point, because once people believed it was possible, it gave them a whole new reason to doubt everything they were seeing. And just like that, this stopped being about appearance and started becoming about trust. At that point, Mikayla couldn't ignore it anymore. She came forward and addressed everything directly, and you could tell right away. This wasn't a calm, PR-style response. This was frustration. Real frustration. She said clearly multiple times that she does not use filters on her videos, that what people are seeing is exactly how she looks. No beauty mode, no face-altering tools, nothing. She even tried to explain it in a more technical way, talking about how front-facing iPhone cameras can create a slightly distorted effect, how certain angles can slim the face or change proportions. Basically saying, what you see on screen isn't always a perfect representation of reality. And in her mind, that's what people were misunderstanding. But here's the problem. Even when she said all that, it didn't calm things down, because instead of ending the conversation, it actually made people look even closer. And then came the clip that really threw fuel on the fire. The Entertainment Tonight interview. That one piece of footage became the center of everything. People kept replaying it, comparing it, using it as what they believed was proof. And Mikayla herself addressed it. She said straight up that she looked terrible in that video, that it was a bad angle, a bad moment, something that didn't reflect how she actually looks. She even said she didn't recognize herself in that clip, but once something like that is out there, it's hard to take it back, because to the internet, that clip became the reference point. And now there were two narratives colliding. On one side, you have Mikayla insisting that she's being completely real, that she's not altering her videos, that people are making assumptions based on one bad clip. And on the other side, you have thousands of people convinced they've already figured it out. And that tension just kept building. But then something else resurfaced. And this is where things got even messier. People started bringing up her past, not rumors, not speculation, her own words. She had previously admitted that she edited her photos, that she struggled with how she looked, that the pressure of being in that space got to her. And suddenly, people weren't just looking at the current situation anymore, they were connecting it to everything she had said before. Now the conversation shifted again, because it wasn't just, does she use filters? It became, is she being fully honest right now? And that's a much harder question to control. Some viewers started pointing out how carefully she was wording things, that she was very specific about videos, but not saying much about photos anymore. Others felt like people were overanalyzing and reading too much into it. But either way, every single thing she said was now being dissected. And at that point, it wasn't even about facts anymore, and it was about perception. Because once people start questioning your authenticity, it's almost impossible to reset that narrative. Every explanation starts to sound like a defense. Every response becomes another piece of evidence for both sides, and you can see how that's affecting her. At one point, she even expressed confusion about what people actually want from her. Like, no matter what she says or does, it's not enough. If she defends herself, she's accused of being defensive. If she stays quiet, people assume she has something to hide. If she admits anything, it gets used against her. If she denies it, people don't believe her. That's the trap. And it's one a lot of influencers quietly deal with. But rarely this publicly. Because the truth is, this isn't just about Mikayla anymore. It's about something bigger. The gap between how people look online and how they look in real life. The pressure to be perfect. The expectations that come with being constantly visible. The uncomfortable reality that once you build an audience around your image, people feel entitled to analyze it. What makes this situation so intense is that it's happening in real time. Every response she gives doesn't close the conversation. It extends it. The more she tries to clear things up, the more people dig. And the more they dig, the more complicated it becomes. At this point, it feels like there's no clean ending. Because even if she's telling the truth, not everyone is going to believe her. And even if people are wrong, they're not going to stop talking about it. So now the real question isn't even whether she uses filters or not. It's whether someone can ever fully control how they're perceived once the internet decides to question them. And honestly, that might be the one thing no one can fix.